What's happening, chess fans? Welcome to Net Chess and Chill. Today is episode number 19 of my Rapid Rating Climb series, and we are on a journey to 1200 ELO. So, if you guys enjoy my content, please like and subscribe, and I'm going to give you a forewarning. Today, we're just actually going to be analyzing 3 games that I lost today. So, if you guys would like to see some of these rough games that I played, stay tuned, and I guess without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So, get some tunes on for you guys, and hold on one second. Let me come right back. My bad. All right. So we're gonna get into some of these reviews. Maybe I'll cut that part out. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Sorry about that. I thought I had the board ready. So this was a game that I played against Banitos. He was rated 7 points less than he was right here. So yeah, I lost. He was rated 1040. So he played with 80% accuracy. I played with 63.1. This game was kind of rough on my end, and we'll see why. So I can go for a London, which is something that I'm typically down to play all the time. So he plays the move d5, which is typical. I bring my bishop out to f4. He brings his knight out. So a lot of times in these positions, people also play moves like this, fianchetto, castle, and it's sort of like a King's Indian, but I think it's called like a Grunfeld or something. I don't know. It's very similar, except for the pawn is not on d6, it's on d5, and it's basically stopping me from playing e4 pretty much immediately, because I would get my knight out here, and whoops, chess.com is being weird, and play it for a move like this. But with the pawn here, I actually can't do it. So in this position, I just play kind of a typical regular London setup, and I'm like, all right, he brings the bishop out. Maybe I should attack the bishop with this being in mind for the next move. That's not the best option at all. The computer does not want that. I think this is a good idea for sure. Especially because I haven't played this yet. I don't know. This is a good idea. I need to keep this in mind. I can always go for a bishop trade if I really want to, but it's not really what I was seeing here. So I went for this, which seemed like a fork, but it's actually no good unless I move my bishop out of the way. If he plays this, I still have the fork. He takes, I take. So me taking was the biggest mistake. I kind of didn't know which one to take. This seemed more reasonable. Typically, I have my knight here to recapture on that square, but I hadn't developed entirely yet because I was busy chasing this bishop. So he actually plays a really good move to stay equal, which I fall for. I should have taken the bishop is what the computer wanted. He backs up, and in this structure, I mean, I'm trying to castle queenside, but it's looking difficult for me right now. I do develop my bishop, which is also an inaccuracy. Just getting my queen off the back rank to castle queenside was a lot faster. And we get this. So I shouldn't have allowed this. The best move here for me was definitely just to kick the bishop. If he wanted to take, I guess recapturing was fine. Yeah, I mean, really, I just have this weakness right here with the queen check, and I'm not going to be able to castle. So realistically, here it was better just to do this. And if the queen comes down here, I could even offer a queen trade if I felt it was necessary. And I still wouldn't be able to castle in that position, but I kind of got a pretty nice little structure going on over here, and maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I don't know. So, anyways, we get into this position where I capture there. He does give the check, and I move my king. Best move. He gives this check. I did this, which is a mistake. So, I didn't know what to play in this position because I was like, I'm going to lose this pawn. But I guess it's not the end of the world, because I am defending these, and I could actually just push this pawn to save it. I guess maybe if... So his best move is not even to go for it, so that's interesting. So his best move is just to push this pawn and start attacking and chipping away at things. So the reason I didn't play the knight here was mostly because of this pawn. Apparently it's not that big of a deal, and bringing the knight here is a nice defense of these. So I did this, and I brought the queen up. He comes back, and this is a missed opportunity. So immediately I should have done this. Again, apparently this is just not a big deal of a pawn to lose. There must be some sort of tactic here. I didn't see it, obviously. I thought, hey, this defends everything. I brought the knight over, but taking the pawn was a better idea. And also, I guess I have this pawn to win in the future if I want to as well. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what I would have done differently in a real game. I felt like I played kind of what I would have, except for I probably shouldn't have started this whole thing by chasing the bishop. I mean, I've been losing the whole game. So he threatens my queen here, and I was worried about this move, and I just literally didn't see that. And so here we go, hanging the queen. So that's the first game. I ended up resigning right after that just because I felt pretty defeated. And I'm sorry that we're doing it this way today, guys. It's because I actually had trouble with my recordings, and I just found that this was easier. And I think that the trouble with my recordings was carrying over, because I did realize that I was kind of upset while I was playing my games. So I think it might have not... It didn't benefit me to play games like that. I guess they call it tilted. So I did feel a little tilted while I was playing. In this game, my opponent played with 79.7, almost 80% accuracy. I played with 75.6. We had 2 misses, 6 mistakes, and 5 inaccuracies. This was a really long game, and I'm going to fly through a little bit of it just because it gets repetitive with the end game, and we get into an end game. This is like a 90 move game. So it starts off with me going for a Karo Khan versus this is called the hillbilly attack. So we take with a pawn, threatening the bishop. The bishop backs up. A lot of the times the bishop comes here. I think that might be the best move, is to give the check. Yeah. And I like to play this move and just get rid of the bishop immediately, put pressure on it. Sometimes the bishop will come here, we'll put our bishop here, and they will just develop their knight, also putting pressure on this. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I just take, and then we can kick out the knight, we can develop our own knight, and just continue as normal. But they back up. I defend the pawn. It's not my best move. My best move is actually to get the bishop out first. And I come all the way up. I back the bishop up. The best move is to actually take. Interesting. So this is a mistake by me. Pushing the pawn is far better, because I actually don't really know why. Let's see. So the knight comes in. I mean, I guess it's because we take, they take. I don't know. We play. I don't really see why it's better. This knight just seems annoying, and I'm gonna have to get rid of it now. Maybe I just played this. Is that the idea? And he's running out of squares. that does make a little more sense. If he comes here, then I can actually play this move, winning another tempo, just kicking the knight around. Okay. That makes a little more sense. So they take, I take, he takes, I take, and I figured he wouldn't take here, right? Like, you know, and this is pretty even. We're not losing or anything. That was a mistake by him. I didn't counter it correctly, right? I did see this kind of check and everything like that, and maybe I could pile up this way. You know, like I did see that. I just didn't think that maybe it was the best. Maybe giving this check and doing something like this and then playing this move is just pretty decent. And I guess actually the thought is if he does this, maybe I could play that and then I can win this pawn. That's also a thought, but then this pawn hangs, so gets pretty complicated. I try not to read that far into the positions. I have been doing it, and it's been making me lose time, and I've been losing the game on time a lot because of it. So I took here, and I thought, hey, this is a fork, right? He does this, and I didn't capitalize on it correctly. Taking here would have been the better move. Giving this, you know, and he would have had to move the queen, and then I could actually take the queen and then take the rook. That would have been smarter. I did see that move. I just don't think I calculated it correctly because I just was like, oh, if he takes, but then the queen hangs, right? So that's easy, and I should see that actually. So the fact that I just did this was pretty sad of me. And today I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really having the best vision on the board. I could kind of feel that I didn't feel like I was very sharp today. I mean, it's a Sunday. I've been kind of relaxing most of the day, doing chores and stuff, so I knew I had to make some videos today, and of course they messed up and it made me a little irritated. So I ended up paying for it with these chess games. So he's moved his queen over. I didn't really know what this move did necessarily. I moved my rook over, but honestly, I kind of felt my rook should just be combined and I should get my queen activated. I didn't really know what to do, but I felt like this might not be the worst thing in the world. I don't know. Even a move like, you know, this is just check, right? So, I mean, you know, you can block and we can go for a trade, or you can just move the king. You know, I didn't really know what to do. I also was worried about this move, but then I have a move like this, which is we're getting a pawn out of it. We're defended here, so I don't have to worry about losing the pawn. I can actually just take the other one. If they do attack, they could come over like this, and then I would just have to get out of there. But I didn't see all of this stuff. I was pretty nervous today. I thought, hey, set up the bishop, give the check. Wasn't the greatest idea. This was a blunder, so I missed that I could actually take with the rook attacking the queen, and like, what are you doing, right? So simple, you know, misunderstanding, right? Like I forgot my rook is right here. What am I doing, right? And I thought, oh, if he, you know, I do this, his queen covers. Actually, the exact opposite. I can win a tempo on his queen, like, you know, instantly. And my bishop is defended, so like we're good. So very just silly mistake by me. Yeah, and now we have this position where I just slide my king out of the way. The bishop's under attack. I take a pawn. We're completely winning here. The best move is not to slide my queen over that way. It is actually to do damage to this bishop potentially. We do just kind of start trading pieces. I threaten the queen. I play this move just to give my king some space. They play that. I actually miss a tactic here, which is getting just my bishop kind of over here and setting up something with my queen. I saw it. I just kind of went about it the wrong way. So this is also a mistake. I should have just moved my queen. Not the best way to go about things. And here we're just equal. This should be a draw. I moved my king forward because of the check, obviously. Defended my pawn. He came over, took another pawn. I took this pawn. He moved forward. I actually did this, which is not the best move, but it is a decent move. So I had kind of a slack brain today. I can just take this pawn, and we should be winning, right? We have a outside pass pawn. Instead, I do all this, and then I take the pawn. He moves his queen forward, and honestly, I should have just gone for something like this. He can't really do anything, and if he comes down here, I can actually... Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I ended up trying to draw, and then I was like, I could just take the pawn, right? And I have an outside pass pawn, and I didn't know how to finish the game out. This is just a draw. He should be able to sacrifice the queen at the right moment. I couldn't keep my pawns, and so I ended up losing the game, basically. We played a decent game. It was a long game. I was kind of tired, and again, a little bit irritated. So, that is the second game that I lost. That one kind of hurt because it took a long time. That was a long game. I was down on time a lot of the game as well. This game wasn't a very long game. This game I lost due to kind of stupidity. My opponent played with almost 88% accuracy. I played with about 73. No blunders, but I had a miss and a couple mistakes, so we can see where I went wrong. This is a Karl Khan advanced variation. I play c5 a lot of the times. This gets into the Botvik Karl's defense. They take. I like moving my knight over here, threatening this. Another move that you could do is also just play e6, and I mean, it blocks in your light squared bishop, but I think it is another book move, I believe. They develop their knight, and in this position, so like they're defending this, right? Like I can't take the pawn anymore, so I typically like to pin the knight. I do. They attack my bishop, I take, they take, and honestly, I can just take the pawn. So I didn't do that. I defend my pawn because, my queen sees it, but I know that this is the best move. And they come down and pin my knight. This gives us a little advantage. I take the pawn, which is not the best move. I think even given this check is not terrible, but I don't think it's the best move. We could put on, build up pressure, but they do have just a move like bishop over, and their queen is also defending the knight on the file. So, we take. They castle. So in this position, I just defend my knight with this, also just developing, getting ready to castle myself. They move their queen over. I backed my bishop up, which is not the best move. Bringing my queen over is just better because I'm developing a piece. So they always say, usually backing up is not the best option. Even a move like this would have been probably better than me just backing my bishop up. You got to think about things like that. I just backed my bishop up and thought, this will be all right. So in this position, I castled. They took. I captured with my knight because there is no more pin here. So I think they kind of missed that. They slide their king over. I'm completely winning in this scenario. I threaten the queen, and I start to mess up. So that was the first part. This should have just been an idea for me in the first place. I have quite the tempo that I'm, run with the momentum, basically. Instead, I threaten the bishop out of the way, who also just backs up to defend this square. That's why it would have been better to put my queen here in the first place. And then if the bishop did drop back, we're set up to take this pawn. You know, we have ideas. So, and my rooks would have been connected also with my queen here. That's another advantage of what that was. I moved my knight back because I figured this is a good square. They rightfully defend their pawn, which is a good move. I had this move, which is kind of not seeing the bigger picture. I'm not sure I know what the bigger picture is here, but they can't move this pawn or I'll take this at the moment. And yeah, I'm really not seeing it, but I'm assuming maybe like we somehow can put pressure on this pawn, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can potentially move here as well, and it's just hard to deal with, hard to kick me out. I mean, maybe it doesn't seem hard to kick out. So yeah, it's just a move where the queen stays here, right? Like, you know, and now it's being kicked out. I don't really see how I would have seen any of that, and I don't feel like my queen is doing anything for me over there. I'd rather be defensive with my queen, especially the way that I play, than throw my queen out to the side of the board like that. This is where things start to get dicey for me. They're threatening to start trying to attack this side of the board. And I see this, and I know that it's happening, and I still am just like, you know, if he does this, I'm not worried. I'll take back. He can't take, right? If he wants to do some shit like that, I'll take his queen. I mean, you know, if he wants to come down here to give the check, I'll just back up. I'm just kind of keeping it in mind. It doesn't look like he has enough to do anything right now, but I do decide to not be very defensive, right? The best move is to bring my queen out. I end up bringing my my knight, excuse me, over to this square to come into here, and ends up being the wrong idea. So this is the best move right now. My opponent brings his knight over to here to basically start doing things like, you know, he's got an attack now that I need to worry about. I mean, it's similar to the Greek gift, right? Usually the queen is back here on this square and the knight is here, and you know, with the queen here, you sacrifice the bishop, the king takes, you bring this knight in with this check, king backs up typically, which is a losing mistake, and then the queen comes in and you just have a lot of problems because checkmate is looming on this square. My knight is way out of action, so a lot of times I'll have a knight kind of around here, and he can help defend. But in this case, I don't have that. And I just go with a losing error right here. So this would have helped me a lot, a move like that. I also think that a move like this might have helped me. But the computer is saying that this is a big mistake. And so he gets this brilliant idea move, which I don't know how brilliant it is. It's pretty common sacrifice. It's basically a Greek gift right here. I slide over. The best move for me is actually to take and get checkmated. I mean, maybe there's a way to really hide from the checkmate, but I should have taken. Because even if he does this, it blocks his queen, and I can come back. If he does this, I can just sack the queen. If he does this, I mean, we're in trouble, right? But I mean, I think I have a way to get out, potentially. So I lost the game on spot by not taking, and it just ended up being a checkmate. So yeah, tough games, and I was pretty moody while this was all happening. I haven't really had that bad bone in my body yet with chess. Like, I've gotten kind of irritated sometimes with guys that play fast or just want to trade all the pieces. I do find that relatively annoying, but yeah, I was getting kind of irritated with my own play today. So that was kind of, I don't know if it's a first, but it's one of the first times I really remember feeling that way, that I was that irritated about my own play, because I felt like I had chances in all three of these games to win the game and everything. So it just felt disheartening to lose 3 games, obviously back to back to back, and then also to spend the amount of time that I've been spending on these games and still coming out with a losing position after being in a winning position. To me, that's disheartening. So I need to figure out a solution for that. Hopefully I bounce back here soon. I've been teetering around 1,000 ELO. I'm sorry for you guys that want to see me getting closer to the 1,200 ELO mark. It's been hard for me to just get over the 1,000 and stay over the 1,000 ELO mark. But I think I'll start studying here a little more soon. I think that'll help. I do feel like my openings are not very good. I also feel like my middle and end games are not very good. I have a lot to work on, so it's hard. I don't think studying openings is the best practice. I think that just having a solid opening is a fine way to start, but doing puzzles and seeing tactics is a weakness of mine, and I think that could benefit me. And also just practicing some basic end games, like the second game that I showed today, me losing that end game. I feel like I was winning, and I had winning chances, especially with my opponent just giving checks. And if I wanted to just draw the game, I should have just drawn the game. And I had the moment for having a repeating check and couldn't do it. So, and in this game, I lose the middle game, right? Like, I mean, I see what they're doing, and I don't try to defend properly. I'm like, oh, maybe I can just take a pawn. It's not really the best way to go about playing chess, so I need to work on some stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed getting to watch me suffer a little bit today. Hopefully we bounce back tomorrow, the next day. We need to start pushing a little harder for some things. So like I said, I'll probably be studying a little bit, and maybe I'll even make a video about me doing some puzzles, or like what I do when I do study chess. So if you guys are interested in that, maybe leave a comment below if you made it this far in the video. I appreciate you. And yeah, leave me a comment, say you made it this far. Tell me what you think about potentially me posting what I do to train chess, study a little bit. It's probably not the best things in the world, but I do try. And it's usually puzzles and maybe just going over some example games and stuff. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I will see you tomorrow. Get out of here.